Good evening and welcome to the Tiger Media Network News Live. I'm Grant Rogers.
And I'm Kylie Gaughan.
And our top story tonight, Fort Hays State students participated in the 2014 Higher Education Day in Topeka on Tuesday, advocating with students from around the state. The student representatives lobbied for an exemption of the sales tax on textbooks and more funding for higher education. The measure is intended to encourage students to purchase textbooks through university bookstores rather than a third-party vendor such as Amazon. Fort Hays President Edward Hammond has already voiced support in Governor Brownback's plan to increase funding to Fort Hays.
Over the weekend, Fort Hays held a memorial service for Dr. John Heinrichs at the Robbins Center on the Fort Hays campus. Heinrichs was serving as the chair of the Geosciences Department at the time of his passing before the beginning of the spring semester. At the service, President Hammond spoke along with many other long-time friends and family of Heinrichs. Heinrichs had taught classes at Fort Hays State since 1998. A scholarship has already been set up in Heinrichs' name.
The VIP student ambassadors hosted a dinner last Sunday night talking about what the group represents and what they hope to accomplish for the student body around the campus of Fort Hays State. The students are hired from among the student body and work various campus and community events. The group was founded in 1987 and has been an integral part of Fort Hays over the years.
Last Friday night, the Fort Hays State Center for Student Involvement hosted another After Dark with the theme of Candy Crush Saga. During the event, students played a game show, bingo, a Candy Crush memory game, and much more. Music from The Fluorescent was performed live at the event. To wrap up the evening, the movies Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 1 and 2 were shown.
They're creepy and they're kooky, and they have made their way to Hays. The Encore series will present its showing of The Addams Family at Beach Schmidt Performing Arts Center Sunday, February 16th. The performance tells the story of Wednesday Addams bringing her boyfriend to meet her family of interesting individuals and is based on the 1960s television show of the same name. Tickets start at $27 for students and $36 for the public. Doors will open at 7:15.
The City of Ellis and Fort Hays State University are teaming up this spring for a new water festival. The festival will spend up to $2,500 to help supply and market the event that plans to educate residents about the importance of water conservation. Funding for the event will come out of the city's water utility fund. This is the first year of the event.
Yesterday, the Fort Hays State American Democracy Project and Global Leadership Project hosted Red Hand Day in the Fort Hays Memorial Union. The day protests the use of child soldiers in numerous countries throughout the world. During the event, students painted their hands red and placed their handprint on a piece of paper to be made into a poster that will be sent to national and international leaders.
Last night in the Memorial Union Ballroom, Glee star Lauren Potter gave an inspirational speech about how she overcame obstacles, proving to herself and the world that being different is acceptable and it hasn't stopped her from doing what she loves, acting. Glee is a Fox television show that features singing and comedy, set in a high school where students have overcome obstacles through singing.
On Monday, the Women's Leadership Project held its 1 Billion Rising performance in the Beach Schmidt Performing Arts Center. 1 Billion Rising is an international dance movement that raises awareness for women's rights across the world. Groups perform dances to show their honor for the women affected by violence, lack of education, and being victims of poverty.
Fort Hays State is hosting guests this weekend, holding a family weekend event Friday through Sunday. For visitors, there are several events scheduled. Saturday morning at 10:30 is a parents' recognition brunch, and later at 2 is a men and women's basketball game. Tours of Sternberg Museum will be anytime from 1 to 6 on Sunday. And at 7:30, the Fort Hays Encore series is presenting The Addams Family.
The Fort Hays State Fuse film series will premiere tonight in the Cody Commons, showing the film The Butler. The film tells the story of a man who served 8 U.S. presidents as butler in the White House. The civil rights movement, Vietnam, and other major events are in the backdrop. The movie will run until 7 tonight.
Tuesday, February 18th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. is Mock Interview Day in Sheridan Hall. Mock Interview Day is provided to students as a safe platform for practicing interview skills face-to-face with professional recruiters. For more information, contact Fort Hays State Career Services.
The Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, or VITA, is a program for accounting students wishing to help other students and community members file their returns. Students participating will gain experience for their resume helping people in need of assistance. The VITA dates are February 18th, 19th, 25th, and 26th, and will be available by appointment from 5:30 to 7:30 in McCartney Hall on the Fort Hays State campus.
The Quest Leadership Program presents its Leadership and Teams event Tuesday, February 18th from 7 to 8:30 in the Trails Room of the Memorial Union. The event is centered on effective leadership and understanding the nature of what leadership means.
Fort Hays State University Provost Chris Crawford will host an open forum tomorrow morning from 8 to 9 in the Memorial Union Stouffer Lounge. The interim provost will lead a free-form discussion, hearing ideas and questions from faculty. Breakfast, juice, and coffee will be provided.
That's the news for today, and tune in for sports with CD DeSalvo.
Are you tired of the imitation stations that don't know what you like? If you're ready for a change, then it's time you tune into KFHS Radio. At KFHS Radio, we play a variety of music for the students, by the students. If you're being let down by the boring stations that don't get you, check out KFHS Radio at kfhs.net.
By Tigers, bringing you the news and sports and stuff you want to hear. For students, by students, who write a lot and work real hard and treat the cameras well. You could always work here too, broadcast what inspires you.
Welcome to the Tiger Media Network.
By web, by air, by column space, show this world your tiger face.
Good evening, I'm CD DeSalvo. The FHSU wrestling team has dropped 6 spots to number 12 in the latest version of the NCAA Division II Wrestling Coaches Poll. The Tigers picked up wins over Central Missouri and Truman State last week while dropping one to Lindenwood. Other MIAA members in the top 20 this week are Nebraska Kearney at number 2, Central Oklahoma at number 5, and Lindenwood sitting in 7th. CJ Napier remains ranked 4th in the 141-pound weight class after going 3-0 last week, and teammate Tanner Chris remains steady ranked 7th in the 197-pound weight class. Well, the 2014 Lady Tiger softball season kicks off this weekend at the 8th State Classic in Bentonville, Arkansas. The 8th State Classic features 29 teams, including 11 of 14 MIAA teams. The Lady Tigers will play 6 games from the 14th to the 16th, including a game against 18th-ranked Missouri St. Louis. Fort Hays State finished the 2013 season at 47-12, winning the MIAA tournament and earning the top seed in the Central Region. Coach Kinberger returns 14 players from last year's squad. Now let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for Fort Hays State Athletics. Tomorrow, the men's and women's track teams will be competing all day in the Concordia Indoor Invitational in Seward, Nebraska, where junior Corey Keene will look to follow up on his record-setting times from last week's meet in Nebraska. The men's baseball team will finally begin their season this weekend as they hit the road to Laredo, Texas, where they will complete a 3-game series against Texas A&M International beginning on Saturday. The Tigers will finally see the field after cancellations the past 2 weeks due to snow.
The men's and women's basketball teams will be at home on Saturday taking on rival Pittsburgh State, with the women's game set to tip at 2 p.m. followed by the men's game at 4 p.m. And the Tiger wrestling team will host the MIAA tournament at Gross Memorial Coliseum on Sunday, beginning at 10 a.m. Well, guys, it's pretty cool that they're doing a family weekend where your parents can come and visit you, and not only that, but you get to catch a really good basketball game as well.
Yeah, absolutely, which is really funny because my parents are coming down, and it also happens to be part of the Greek games, sort of, and so it should be quite an interesting time for all the parents coming in.
Yep, my parents will be there too. They don't have too far of a drive because they're from Hayes, so it should be a fun time.
Well, that'll do it for tonight's edition of Tiger Media Network News Live. For all of us here, I'm Grant Rogers. Good night.